Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We got the Final X preview show brought to you by TrueTan Wrestling, the one and only. This show will detail all 30 matches that will decide our Greco-Roman, women's freestyle, and men's freestyle wrestling teams. My name is Tanner, and I'm beyond excited to talk about these matches and detailing some of the exciting moments coming up this Friday, June 3rd, and Wednesday, June 8th, in Stillwater, Oklahoma, and New York City. Now, I know I love giving long and detailed intros about hyping these events up, but you know what? This event is fun enough the way it is, so let's go in order and run over to Stillwater, Oklahoma, and go match by match, covering our first 15 before our last 15 in good old New York City. Also, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons to find my event recaps for both of these events, which will be separate videos. Also, if your own thoughts, picks, or discussion on these events, be sure to send all of that in the comment section below. Now let's talk some Final X Stillwater. The first match we will see at Final X will be between Sammy Jones and Jesse Thielke at 63 kilograms Greco-Roman wrestling. Jones is a native of Northern Michigan, which is a huge Greco school to train at, and Jones has been battling on the scene for a long time and is our returning world team member in 2021, which is his only team to date, so he's probably the favorite here, but do not count out Thielke. He is a former Wisconsin wrestler and a national qualifier from back in the days. However, this matchup really gets interesting for those who do not realize that Thielke is also an Olympic qualifier for USA back in 2016, however that was at 59 kilograms. Regardless, this final should be fun between two guys who have wrestled on the largest stages in the sport and smashed through this weight, so we are about to see some really good wrestling to start these events out. Next up, we have 76 kilograms on the women's freestyle side of things, and unfortunately there's no Adeline Gray here this year with her having a child. However, the benefit of that is that we have two great wrestlers in her stay, with Gilbert at the Olympic Challenge Tournament 1 seed, and she's looking super tough lately, and she'll be going up against McCoy, a North Central wrestler who has had some major upsets all throughout her career. I think this match has some super interesting potential and way better than some might predict. McCoy has some serious tricks up her sleeve, and Guilford is just a strong technical wizard at the sport. 130 kilograms Greco is our next weight, where we'll have Colin Schultz, who has been threatening to make a world team for a long time but has been behind Adam Kuhn. Schultz will be tested by another heavyweight Greco star in Farmer, who has had himself some really nice Greco wins in his career so far. Then we have a Stillwater favorite for sure, and only at match number 4 of the night, with Zane Rutherford going up against Jordan Oliver. Stylistically, Jordan Oliver normally can get it done here, but Zane has beat some pretty elite opponents before and has beaten Jordan Oliver when down. However, to be fair, using the transitive property rule, you could basically reverse it and say Jo is beating some really elite guys that have beaten Zane and vice versa. And Jo's most significant losses to Zane came when Jo was really struggling with weight, so this match is going to be different regardless. Either way, I do think the match though will be super calculated, and whoever gets match 1 I think is going to win it all in my opinion. Match number 5 in Stillwater, we have 72 kilograms Greco-Roman with a longtime vet and Greco stud in Pat Smith, who has made some world teams before, facing off against Benji Peak. Similar to Zane versus Jo, these two have some history. Peak has pushed Smith to the brink before, just last year actually, to make the world team, and I see this series going very similar. It's going to come down to whoever wants to wrestle just a little bit more for an entire 12 minutes. Our next weight to look at I think can for sure be really exciting. We have 59 kilograms women with Bashman, who has been getting better and better year over year, taking out really tough Estrella at the US trials, which I would argue is a super nice upset to really grow her stock. She will face Abby Nettie, who has had some huge achievements in her own right. Whoever wins this match will deserve it, and both these girls are battlers, so watch out for this one. Next up to bat, at almost the halfway point of Stillwater, we see a veteran Greco star in Ben Provisor, a former Olympian now at 82 kilograms, facing off against Spencer Woods. Woods had a pretty easy 1-0 record at the US trials to tech his way here. Provisor had a tough up-and-comer in Epps to really push him to make this spot in Final X, so I think this match is definitely going to be interesting from a stylistic matchup, which I believe is true because we did see the same match at the 2021 World Team Trials, which Provisor did get the win there. Then of course we have a good one in 57 kilograms men with Gilman versus Arujau, a rematch from the Olympic Trials final. Arujau has always looked super tough in freestyle, but man, Gilman has just jumped massive ledges in his late career to become one of USA Wrestling's best, and this match will for sure be interesting, with junior medalists going against several-time senior world and Olympic medalists. Then we stick with our little guys, but on the Greco side at 55 kilograms, in another 2021 World Team Trials rematch in Nowry versus Coons, which to be honest is always really close, and they both have strong Greco backgrounds, so we will see if the tides can change in this rivalry or stay the same. Then we have another Stillwater favorite in Dayton Fix at 61 kilograms, facing off against Seth Gross. Also, go check out the interview posted earlier today with Seth Gross getting ready for Final X, shout out. But these two have wrestled before in freestyle, with Fix really taking the advantage, but Gross is known to make some huge adjustments the more he's wrestled someone. But not to discredit Fix, he is a returning silver medalist, so for sure two high IQ freestyle studs battling out for the 61 kilogram spot. Now coming down the final 5 matches of Stillwater, and I'll say if you thought this Final X was already pretty deep, well look out, because these matches are going to be intense. So let's jump into women's 55 kilograms with Burkett, a returning 2021 bronze medalist, versus the World Team Trials champ and world champ from years before, Jakara Winchester, looking to take back her spot. Get used to it, because several of the women's finals are matchups between returning medalists, so they are going to have some baller matchups. Next weight, we will have Jaden Cox, a returning multiple medalist at 92 kilograms, most recently placing bronze at the World Championships. However, he was looking equally as impressive at the Pan Am Championships. His opponent will be the equally impressive Nate Jackson, who has been rushing through the competition, and these two always give each other fun matches to watch, so I cannot wait to see these two battle it out and give us a Final X to remember. Another battle of two medalists is the next weight, with Molinari, our returning medalist, battling against former world team member and medalist Mallory Velty. This match will be contested at 65 kilograms. Both these girls have looked extremely better than the last time we've seen them, and they have made some huge gains. In my opinion, I seriously think this could be the match of the night in Stillwater, or the match of Final X in general, which I know is a huge statement, but these two women are very impressive wrestlers. The second to last matchup at 97 kilograms men will be Snyder versus Moore, a rematch from the Olympic Trials final. Based off Colin Moore's World Team Trials performance, he has clearly made some huge gains. However, not to discredit Kyle Snyder, he has also looked like a total beast than the last time we saw him at the World Championships, so I think this match could for sure have some fireworks compared to last time. Then we end our night of matches with USA's women's representative herself, Tamara Mensah-Stock, returning world bronze and Olympic gold medalist at 68 kilograms, and she will face off against Sienna Ramirez, who is a super strong Southern Oregon female that could be the next if factor girl, which means this match could bring some serious potential to Stillwater. Just for those who might not know, I'll say it now, all these series are best of 3, so winning one match does not end the night for the wrestler. Also, U20 and U23 trials will be a day after the Stillwater event, and there's always great college guys at U23 showing off their freestyle stuff, along with U20 or juniors, as some people would like to call it. Always has amazing wrestling, which will be a nice continuation from the Open. But now that I got that spiel out of the way, let's move on to Final X New York City on June 8th. This event will be kicked off with 77 kilograms, which will be a huge Greco match with Kamal Bey, who you all know I love seeing back, and the dude is just a stud in Greco, so he's fun to watch, great for the sport. But clearly, he has to wrestle someone, and that wrestler is Britton Holmes, who had a huge upset at the trials, and he will be coming into this match swinging like he always does. At 72 kilograms for the women, we have our second series of Final X New York with Skylar Grote, who has always been great, but has recently been looking absolutely amazing in one of the best women in America. However, her opponent Aylor is absolutely no slouch. I seriously think whoever wins this series will win a medal for Team USA. That is exactly how tough these two women are. We are seriously getting into some heat in New York City with the highly talked about men's 65 kilograms, with Yanni Diakomahalis, a returning world team member, facing off against Evan Henderson, who had himself an amazing tournament at the trials, and he will be looking to keep his streak alive by taking out the man himself, Yanni Diakomahalis. And I for sure can guarantee there will be some fireworks between these two. Another firework of a series will be between Vera, a former Cuban stud, facing against Timothy Young, who has looked great recently and will try to test the really experienced Greco returner at 87 kilograms. Then a super interesting match is the 125 kilogram match for the men's freestyle, with Zilmer, who had a final X at 92 kilograms and is now a heavyweight, facing several-time medalist and world team member Nick Gwiazdowski. These two have very different body types but extremely similar wrestling styles, which makes me really want to lean towards Gwiazdowski, but Zilmer has been on clutch mode lately, so anything can happen. Continuing with Greco next at 67 kilograms, we have Sancho versus Nutter. Interestingly enough, this will be a matchup of the semifinal from the World Team Trials last year. Sancho has been the man for a little bit in Greco, but Nutter always pushes him, so this is another match that will come down to whoever wants to wrestle every minute of every match. And I understand that is wrestling, but in Greco, one slip up, and I don't mean a slip, I mean like a mistake, could totally take someone out of the match with the defensive standard of the style at this level. Next up, we have 53 kilograms, where we really only saw 4 women at the trials, but don't let that fool you, because we have 2 great women battling for the world team here. Felicity Taylor just won the Open and the trials, and is clearly a strong up-and-comer to watch out for. And then of course, Parrish has been on the scene now for a little bit, and she just beat Heaton at the trials, which is a massive win for her. These two have amazing resumes and have had scary good technique to show off, which could result in a collision course for an amazing series ahead. Moving along, there is 60 kilograms Greco with 2 veterans in Havizov versus Roberts. Both of these guys are always lightweights battling for world team spots. Havizov took match 1 at last year's trials in the best of 3 series, but Roberts would eventually win 2 of those 3 to make it to the world championships. This is a rematch, but for sure one to watch out for. In our next match at 62 kilograms, we have another strong women's match in our returning world medalist in Miracle, who is a Final X veteran herself, facing off against Jennifer Rogers, who is a credentialed woman athlete herself, which on paper alone is a crazy battle for a world team spot, which is awesome for the depth of these finals. This is another series I really can't wait for. Then before the final 5 stretch, we have Hancock, the only returning Greco medalist at 97 kilograms, facing best Greco up-and-comer along with being junior world medalist in Braxton Amos. Like I said in my trials recap, I really wish these two were at different weights because we have 2 medalists here battling it out, but like some of the women's weights, it makes it must-watch TV when the finals are just this deep. Then entering our final 5 stretch, we start with a really strong match at 50 kilograms with our returning world finalist and Olympic bronze medalist Sarah Hildebrandt going up against Alyssa Lampy, who also seems to have made unbelievable gains in a small period of time, which is a praise to the Oregon State RTC, who has 3 women at this event. 74 kilograms, we have an Olympic trials rematch with Dake versus Nolf. Clearly the match was super one-sided, but since then Nolf has continued to make gains, and being with the NLWC, I am sure they have a better game plan, but Dake is clearly a multiple-time world champ for a reason, so sometimes you need more than just a solid game plan. Then we have the women's stud and veteran herself, Helen Maroulis, at 57 kilograms, coming off her world gold to face Alex Hedrick, who had a solid US trials run, and these two will put on a battle for USA Wrestling fans. The final 2 matches, we will see more world champs in Jordan Burroughs at 79 kilograms, facing one of the greatest stories in wrestling right now with Chance Marsteller, who beat a gauntlet of strong 79 kilogram wrestlers to make it to Final X, which is the furthest in his freestyle career, which is setting up a great storyline to watch, and I cannot wait for it. Also, I love Jordan Burroughs, and whenever we get a chance to see him wrestle, I just get so pumped up, so how could you not love this match? Then here we go. We end our series and Final X runs with David Taylor versus Zahid Valencia at 86 kilograms, which everyone is claiming could be the best men's match on the market. Zahid has looked incredible in my opinion, and looks like he's one of the best freestylers right now on the scene. David Taylor is clearly the man, being a world champ and Olympic champ, so an uphill battle for Zahid still. However, David Taylor has missed some time, so there is health questions there for sure. But at the same time, it could all be speculation, so we will just have to wait and see. However, I can tell you this, just based on the wrestling I've seen from both of these guys, it is going to be an outstanding series regardless. Well, everyone, that is a TrueTan Wrestling preview of both Final X events. Remember, Stillwater will be June 3rd on Flow Wrestling, and the New York City event will be June 8th, also on Flow Wrestling. If you have your own matches you are excited for, please feel free to send me them in the comment section below. I'd love to hear all about it. Also to note before we leave, there will be matches for True Third at these events. I believe the most notable, in my opinion, is probably Vincenzo versus Staraki, and there's also several more that are really going to be highly contested, so be on the lookout for that. I'll be making a recap for both of these events separately since there will be a lot more detail into those, so just be on the lookout for those. Expect the Stillwater to be out a couple days after that event, but before the New York City event, and then expect the New York City one to be out a few days after that, of course. If you stayed this long, I would love for you to hit that like button, and I would really love for you to hit that subscribe button as well. But with all that said, I can wish you all a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.